Well, if you just joined us, you're watching the Daily Roundup with Nina. The Namibian pavilion at COP28 hosted a series of panels and interactive discussions on key thematic areas, including energy, climate, finance and water. In addition, the delegation representing Namibia at COP28 was made up of prominent public and private sector stakeholders who offered insight and contributed to the larger conversation regarding Namibia's position on climate change. Joining me now with a reflection of the conference and Namibia's participation is Bernadette Chalumbu, Manager of Programming at the Environmental Investment Fund, the EIF of Namibia. Good evening and welcome, Bernadette.
Good evening, Nina. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's get right into it. In terms of the estimated 15 billion costs for Namibia's climate commitment by 2030, talk to us about the financial strategies or projects the Environmental Investment Fund of Namibia is involved in to support this goal.
All right, thanks for that. Let me just start off. So EIF was created by an Act of Parliament as a fund, and our role really is to mobilize capital that's invested into the economy, the environmental economy into the country, and we do this through different means. We are the first of 24 accredited entities in Africa that can access money directly from the Green Climate Fund, and to date we have accessed finances for about 4 projects, each costing $40 million US. The EIF also has its own grants portfolio, where we issue grants, maximum 150,000 Namibian dollars to eligible communities and individuals. We also have then what we call in-house the Green Impact Facility, which is a blended finance mechanism which offers loans to qualifying SMEs in the country. On the portfolio or the 15 million that is being referenced there is the money that the Ministry of Environment has set forward as its ambition for finances required. And with that, the EIF is doing that through our accreditation by pursuing an active pipeline, programming pipeline to GCF to get more money for different projects in the field. And we are also doing this by supporting government's green hydrogen strategy through SDG1 Namibia, which is a fund that the EIF is managing in collaboration with climate fund managers that are based in the Netherlands.
Talk to us, Bernadette, on how the EIF views the role of investment opportunities within Namibia's green economy as highlighted in the opening panel discussions.
All right, thank you. So as a fund, we raise money, climate finance being one of them, and we do this through either getting grants or using our blended finance vehicles through either grants, concessional loans, or equity. Earlier this year, I've mentioned about the SDG1 Namibia, which we registered, which is then going to be the vehicle that will then raise capital from private and public sector to invest into the green hydrogen stake. To date, EIF has raised more than 2 million globally and has deployed 1.7 million back into the Namibian economy. So we will then do this, the joint venture between EIF as well as the climate fund managers will then help us to raise capital for at least the green economy. Yeah.
Elaborate for us on the EIF's perspective on the importance of certification in advancing the green hydrogen sector, as discussed in the green hydrogen certification panel.
All right. So it's no secret that Namibia wants to venture into the green hydrogen economy. Of course, we have the strategy in place, as well as the fully fledged green hydrogen program. The green hydrogen that will be produced in Namibia is intended mostly for export, and very little of it will be consumed domestically. Yeah. So for the country to trade this green hydrogen, it needs to be certified as green. And green hydrogen can only be certified as green if it's produced from renewable energy sources, for example, now your solar or wind, for example. So for that process to be compliant, somebody needs to come and certify it off, so that when the people are buying it off, they are at least convinced that it's a green hydrogen product. So this is why we are doing this. So like really green hydrogen certification lays down the groundwork to give the buyer some sort of confidence that indeed this product is green, and it's not just greenwashing or some sort of other green hydrogen product. Yeah.
What specific measures or strategies, Bernadette, were emphasized by the EIF to promote sustainable development and clean energy transitioning during COP28?
All right, so environmental sustainability remains at the core of the work that we do. We are an environmental fund at the end of the day, so whatever money we are getting is invested into the environment to ensure sustainability. So we really ensure, we make sure that all of our projects are green to start with. Projects, and when it comes to climate change specifically, our projects either address adaptation, which is allowing communities a way to live with the problem of climate change, or they are into the mitigation field, which is just really using technology, other means to build the resilience. So to date, our projects in the energy space are specific to the installation of solar plants, solar home appliances, solar water pumping systems, as well as irrigation systems, just to mention a few in the energy sector.
How does the EIF contribute to addressing Namibia's vulnerability to climate change, especially considering the challenges highlighted by President Hage Geingob at the high-level statement summit?
Okay, so we are a fund, so we offer financial resources. We offer different financial vehicles at the EIF. Two of our projects that have been financed by the Green Climate Fund, these actually have on-granting components. So this means that once we get the money from the donor, we are actually able to offer this to communities as grants. So it means there's no repayment expected back from the communities. And to date, we were able to disburse about 580 million Namibian dollars worth of grants to qualifying communities. These grants are mostly for adaptation projects, really, with a few cross-cutting. Yeah.
What qualifies a community for grants such as this?
All right. So it depends really how the project was designed. Like the first on-granting project was specifically looking to support our conservancies. So these are conservancies that have been gazetted and are offering a product that also benefits, like, for example, your tourism or other sectors. So these ones would qualify. For our second grant project, we are looking at projects or communities that offer ecosystem-based services. This means how are they then using the grant money to implement a project that at the end of the day not only benefits communities but also the ecosystem within which they operate. Yeah.
Fantastic. Share with us, Bernadette, so give some insight into the specific initiatives or projects discussed during COP28 at the Namibian Pavilions panel where the EIF was represented.
All right. So the EIF participated in a few of the panel discussions that were hosted at the Pavilion. These, of course, included panels on investment opportunities, PPP opportunities, the green transition and green hydrogen. Our participation really in all of these panels was just to show the world or to bring forward our value proposition as the EIF, as a fund that can unlock many opportunities as an organ of state. Yeah.
You were on one of the panelists in a session on improving climate finance for developing countries. Can you talk to us on that?
All right. So the EIF has been accredited to the Green Climate Fund since 2016. We were the first in Africa to be accredited, and being accredited is really a big thing because the Green Climate Fund is the world's biggest climate fund out there. So they had a session where they were just sharing, as part of their independent evaluation unit, what are their findings as they are evaluating how direct access entities such as EIF are rolling out their projects, what challenges do they encounter. We also spoke about accreditation, how timely and expensive it is for entities to be accredited. And even if you are accredited thereafter, you are not guaranteed that you'll receive funding. Of course, we spoke about the challenges that many institutions are facing, but then most importantly, them as the GCF came on board to share how are they addressing some of those challenges, because their role is really to make sure that a lot of the climate finance reaches the most needy, so to say. So how are they addressing those challenges within the new framework?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Your final remarks this evening, Bernadette?
I would just like to say that being at COP28 was made possible by partners, sponsors. We had sponsors from both public and private sector that collectively contributed about 1.8 million Namibian dollars to Namibia having a pavilion at COP. So we would also just like to thank the partners. This was a collaborative effort between EIF, the Ministry of Environment, as well as the Promotion Board. But our partners then included the commercial banks. We had Bank Windhoek, RMB, Standard Bank, private institutions such as the Capricorn Foundation, the Climate Fund Managers, Kenmo Partners, and 91. We had the public institutions, Agronomic Board, Nasria and Namibre, as well as UNDP, who came on board as a development partner. So it really just shows that we need collective efforts, all hands on deck if we really want to beat the climate crisis.
Thank you so much.
All right.
That was Bernadette Shalumbu, who is the Manager of Programming at the EIF, speaking on Namibia's participation at COP28. We'll be right back after this brief break. Stay with us.